So, Abdullah Mason recently became the WBO World Lightweight title and becoming the youngest world champion in boxing after he beat Sam Noakes in a unanimous decision victory over 12 rounds in Riyadh. It was a great fight, if I'm being honest. It was, it was very different to the welterweight title fight on the same night where we saw Devin Haney sort of outbox Brian Norman pretty comprehensively and Brian Norman didn't really cause Devin Haney too many problems at all, whereas Sam Noakes and Abdullah Mason just went to war, right? Just bit down on the gum shield, stood in the middle. And that's what Abdullah Mason does, to be honest, right? This guy's 21. He's the youngest boxer, youngest world champion in boxing. And he fights like a seasoned vet. Typically when you see a younger fighter, often they're still finding their feet. They're still sort of trying to work their way up, still not trying to take too much damage because they know, they're still a baby. They've not got the legs for it now. But Abdullah Mason, he's been hit before. You can catch him. He's been dropped. But this dude can bang. Like, there's no doubt about that. This dude sits down on his punches. He's bites on the gum shield and he can bang, bro. And his punches look nice. He's a crisp puncher as well. Something that I don't hear many people talking about Abdullah Mason is the level of crispness of his punches. This dude whips the hooks in, sinks the uppercuts, rips the crosses, really good puncher in my opinion. I really like his style of punching, like his, like I said, his crispness when it comes to the way he throws his punches. And again, that was on show against Sam Noakes. They went to war, and this is what's going to happen to Abdullah Mason. If Abdullah Mason can't completely run through you, his fights are going to be a war, which is okay when you're young. It's okay when you're a 21-year-old kid, but you keep fighting like this for the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. 9 years time, you're 30. I don't want to think about the amount of damage that you would have endured in that time. I don't want to think about the amount of damage that Abdullah Mason is going to have by the time he's 30. He's no Devin Haney. He's no Shakur. No Andy Cruz, Keyshawn Davis. Where these guys, defensively, they can be levels above an opponent. They might not really even take beatings like that. Even in a loss, they might not even get their ass handed to them like that. But Abdullah Mason, I have a feeling he's going to be a live by the sword, die by the sword type of fighter. Which is weird because he doesn't really come across like that when you hear him speak. But in the ring, he's completely just built different. Still undefeated. Of course, this is a huge win for him. Again, now he's really in the mix at 135 at lightweight. That's what happens. You win a world title, your name's in that mix now. So you're going to hear him in conversations with Shakur, Floyd Schofield Jr., Andy Cruz, Muratala, Zepeda. All these guys, you're going to hear about it now. So we're going to see what's next for Abdullah Mason. A great win over Sam Noakes, a very good performance. And I don't think this is the end for Sam Noakes as well, I want to say. I think Sam Noakes is going to go on to still have a very good career because, yeah, he's lost a fight here, but it wasn't a fight where he got absolutely smoked. I did have Abdullah Mason, winning it by a couple of rounds, but he didn't get smoked. He was always competitive. He was always in there, didn't, give up. Turki Al-Sheikh, I think for the most part, Turki Al-Sheikh does recognise these things and does remember when guys like this, even if they lose, they can still potentially have another shot in Riyadh season. I think Sam Noakes is going to be one of those fighters because, again, like I said, he himself is also an exciting fighter. And I think he's beyond British level at this point. I don't want to see him go back down to British level. I want to see him sort of mix it with some of these guys at world level. Yeah. Again, I just mentioned Zepeda. Zepeda would be a great fight, but Zepeda, he's a great fighter for anyone, that style of fighting. So Sam Noakes v Zepeda on a Riyadh season, undercard, that's fun, bro. That is fun. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, like I said, I'd be curious to know what you guys thought of that fight against Abdullah Mason v Sam Noakes. What did you think of Abdullah Mason's performance? How do you think he matches up against the other world champions at lightweight? And do you think he'll be able to unify any of those belts? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Another episode of the Seth Solo Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.